Hey, what's up guys? So welcome back to another tutorial. So in this video I'm going to explain you that how we can upload the file using Angular, right? So with the help of Laravel API we are able to get the response, and we use Angular as a front end. So if I just try to click on the submits button without uploading any file, so this is going to show us that image is required, as well as we use some alerts or bootstrap, right? So now if I just try to choose the file from my folder, any image that you can just easily get. So if I click on the submits button, and you see here on message, with the help of Toaster, we are able to get the response from the message API, from the backend API, and get that message into our Toaster, right? So that's what we are going to build in this video. And I believe that if you want to learn more about Angular or Laravel, so I have a CRUD series on Laravel Angular plus authentication series, and this is the file upload, right? So let's jump into this complete tutorial. And also you need to install some few basics that I required. So VS Code must be installed. That is good, I believe. Very good editor. Next, you have to install your Postman for your RESTful API. That's what you can also use, and definitely your XAMPP server. So many of the things that I've done in my other videos. So if you have any confusion while installing or something like that, so you can easily watch that, right? Okay, so I'm going to create a very fresh copy of the Laravel application. So you can just simply type here composer create dash project Laravel / image underscore API. That should be the name of your file or application. So once I press enter, this is going to install that. And make sure that you are using your git bash, or you can use your Windows CMD, all depending on your requirements, that whatever you feel comfortable with. So all right, so this is going to be install our very fresh copy of the installation. So once it's done, I will be right back. Alright guys, so now the Laravel application has been installed properly. So let's cd into the image underscore API, and let's open up with the VS Code. Alright, so this is going to open up the VS Code by simply typing code space dot, right? And the few things that I need to set up first. So first you make sure you have set up your .env, and it should be image underscore API, which should be the name of the database in my case. I believe I have already saved my image underscore API, so I'm going to delete that first. And or you can just name that image underscore API. I just want to delete all the tables that I created, so I could able to show you all from the scratch, right? So in my case, I already created here image underscore API, so that should match with your .env file, right? Which in my case is image underscore API. Next, I can go into creating some tables. So you need to do is to run a command by simply typing php artisan make model, and the model in my case, which should be name of post, and -m for the migration. So this is going to create the post table for us. So let's go inside your database folder, which should be inside your root directory, database migration, and let's go into your create post table. And I need to define it with the help of migration. So table of type string, and let's define here the name, which should be image. All right, so that's it. And let's also define the fill labels property. Whenever you have defined some kind of a new field, you should also need to define inside your model class. Let's go inside your app and post.php, and let's define your protected $fillable equal to image. All right, that's it. And let's run the migration by php artisan migrate, right? So this is going to run the migration, and I also need to run the server on my so we are able to run our server with the help of command line. So you just need to press php artisan serve. So this is going to run the server. Let's go to your browser, and you see now this is going to run our Angular application now. So now if I just go back to the application, and let's move into your routes. And we have inside our routes folder, we have two major files, api.php for having your routes for the API, or even you can add up inside your web.php, but the recommended way is the api.php. So if you go to the web.php, you see here we have the route with the request of get. Now we get the request and return the view, which is the welcome. If you go to the welcome page, everything that you see here, that should display into to our browser. And let's go inside your resources, view, welcome, and that's wherever you see on your browser, right? Now if I just try to add the same request, if with the help of get request, let's move into the 127.0 8.1 and the port number, which is 8000. Let's go to the send request. So you see here we can see the same thing that you see into your welcome file, where we have the file. Now if you want to go to the raw, it's something which looks a little bit unprettier. This should be a prettier, nice highlighted one, and this should be in a raw form. And as well as the preview is something which you can see similar on the browser. The status which shows that everything is fine, which is 200. And we have few parameters as well. So parameters include the keys and the value. So in my case, which should be image, which we are later on gonna add here the key as an image. And we have the value, which we have to get it from the file upload from our any directory where you save your image. Plus, if you could see, and now if you go to your body, that's where you can have multiple options. So you see here none, so the request does not have a body. Form data for you can also use form data for uploading the keys and values, different attributes. Like if I just want to add a image, I just go simply to I type here the key, which should be of type and as well as I can also change that to file. Now if I just try to get the file, and you can now select the file from your folder or directory wherever you have saved your image. Now you also have something which is known as raw. If you want something like JSON, you can add up here the raw form as well, but we don't need here in this case. And next, there are other options which we don't need to figure it out, right? Just focus what we are doing. All right, so let's go back to the Angular Laravel application, and let's write our very first API for the file upload, right? So we have set up our migration. I believe I haven't run the migration, right? So all you need to do is to just click on the new terminal, because I want my server running on the very first one, on the first tab of the terminal. So let's run the migration by PHP artisan migrate. So this is going to run the migration, or I already set up that, right? So let's go back to the structure, and there we go. So we have our post that includes the image. All right, so that's fine. Okay, now once we set up the migration, I need to create here the controller as well. So let's create here a controller, PHP artisan make controller, and let's give it the name of the controller, which should be file controller, right? So this is going to create the new controller for us, and I need to view some file structure for that. Let's go inside your resources, and it should be inside your app, HTTP controllers and file controller. So this is going to be the name. That's going to create the controller for us. And if I go to my routes, api.php, that's where I'm going to define my very first route for the API, right? So let's go and write the request. So we have the route, and the type of the request should be post, because we are submitting the file, right? And I just want to give it the route name to be file. And let's create the name of the controller, which in my case which should be file controller, and the name of the method, which should be file, right? So let's create the method inside the file controller. So I'm going to go inside my file controller, and let's define here public function file, which should have the request, because we are submitting the request. And let's type here request, and it should be request. All right, so that's fine. Okay, so we have to do each and everything step by step, right? I want to first check if that request is present. We'll check the boolean. We'll return boolean, yes, if that image is valid, or if that image exists, or it's a type of file of image, then it will return boolean. Next, we will check also how we can get the complete file name. We will also check the extension. We will also check the path of the image, and we will also check the complete picture name that we will create random. And the reason why we create random, because when we have to save multiple images inside the same directory, so we have to make sure that every single time whenever we are uploading the file, it should have a different or unique file name, so we can save it inside a directory. What if it will not follow that, then it will keep updating the same name of the image, and it will not store multiple images. So what I'm going to say here, it might be difficult for you to understand, but I'm going to do it practically so you guys could follow. So let's bring here the model first. So we are using here use app/post. So this is gonna define the post model inside here. So let's define inside the function. So let's first create an object with the name of post, and we have to define with a new keyword. So this is gonna bring the post model for us. Now next, as I explained, we will check that if that request has type of file, which should have a file with the name of image, and we have to return something. So if that exists, so this is going to return as boolean 1, right? That means that it's true. So let's gonna go back to the postman. Now we have the request, which should be post request, and I need to define here the route. So the /API, because we are using here inside the route API.php file, we have the route. So next we have the route name, which should be file, and it should be body. Make sure you have your key in, and you have also choose here the type of file, just like that. So you have to choose from the file, which is already I did that. And now if I click on the select file, so you can add any image. Let's give the send request, and this is gonna show me nothing. And the reason why, because I might forget something. So it has the request of type file, and this is gonna show me, yep, it's fine. Or I just need to check my route, which is also fine. Let's go back to the post, and I just define the image as a key. Let's give it the send request. Now you see that now it has the type image, right? If I go to my prettier, and if I refresh that, let me go to my code. Now if I keep that empty and try to send the request again, and now you see here we have one, which means that now we have a type file image, right? That means that we have some file, right? Next thing that I'm gonna do here is we can also get the complete file name. Let's give it the same name of the variable so it's easier to understand. So $request, and which should of file with the name of image. That is our key basically. And in order to get the file name, we have a method with the name of getClient. It should be getClient original name. All right, so let's dump and die and check this out, right? So complete file name saves it. Let's go back to the browser. We already have set up the keys and the values. Now if I just click on the send, and you see it's a prettier, it's a lot of things which are not easier to understand. And if you go to the preview, or you could go to, yeah, it's fine, go to the preview, and that's where you could see now the angular.jpg is basically the name of the file, right? Now in order to get only the name of the file, we have another method which is basically path info. So how are we gonna define that? Let's look at it. So file name only equal to, let's define here a method with the name of path info that should have two parameters. The first parameter should have the complete file name, and we have to define here something which is known as path info underscore file name. Now this function will help us to get the name of the file, right? So this function will let us to add the name of the file, and with the help of this parameter, this will let us the only name of the file. Let's go back to the postman and click on the send request. Actually I haven't dump and die, so let's gonna do that first. So dump and die, file name only, and now if I go back to the postman and send the request, and there we go. So you see here now we only get the name of the file, right? So you see how useful this function could be. Next thing that I can do here, we can also get the extension. So I'm going to explain you every single thing that will be helpful for you. So $request file, and we have to define here image, and with the help of get client original extension, we are able to get the extension. So extension, I hope the spelling should be right, and let's dump and die this. So $extension. Now this function will only get the extension of the file, which in my case, which is JPG. So now if I just try to send the request, and there we go. So we are only able to get the extension. Now So why are we doing this all stuff? As I explained, that whenever we are saving the same image inside our database or inside our same directory, so we can't keep the same name of the image every single time. We need, because we are saving multiple images, we need the same image should have a unique file name, right? So that's why we are giving it a kind of a trick. So I'm going to create here a variable with the name of complete picture, whatever you could say, and with the help of string underscore replace method, I'm going to do here something that if there is some spaces, you should have to, I just want to replace it with the underscore. So let's add that up, and I need that one more parameter, which should be file name only. Now this function will let us to do, so the name of the file, whatever we have, if there's some spaces, it should replace it with the underscores. Plus I need to concatenate few things. I need to put some here dashes. So I need some dashes, as well as I need to create some random method, so that will help us to create some random number generate every single time. And I also need to add here just after the random numbers, I need another underscore, and let's create here the time method. So time method will also generate some seconds whenever this file is uploaded. And I also need to concatenate the extension. So let's put here dot, and right after here I need to get the extension of the image. All right, so which we are already getting from the top of with the help of get client original extension, right? So let's have a look and see that everything looks fine. So I need to go to the complete picture variable, and let's go back here. And now as I click the send request, and there we go. So this should be the name of the file, and we replaces the underscore with the spaces with the underscore, as you could see. But this is not basically for that, because right after underscore we have the time method, some kind of a time random method. So plus we have some random number digits and the extension. Now if I just keep sending the request, so every single time you see that it will generate a new random string, right? So that's the reason, first the three steps that we have done. Now we need to save that inside. Definitely whenever we are uploading the file, we need to save it to our directory of our application. So for that I need to create here a variable with the name of path, and let's create here a file of image that should include and I need to store it inside my storage folder. Now what actually is storage folder? Now let's generate that first. I'm going to show you. So if I go to, or I could show you the directory that I have. So it should be, I have stored image underscore API. Now if you go to your public folder, you see there's nothing. That's where we have to create here a storage folder. I'll need to link up my storage and create another folder, and that's where we have to save our all images. Now let's create here a storage folder with the help of PHP artisan storage link. Now this will link and create the folder inside our public. Now public storage, and that's where I need to create another folder with the name of post, and inside the post folder I need to save my all images. Now how are we going to do that? And I'm going to show you just in a little while, and I'm going to save that. Now this store as method will help us to save inside my public folder. We have a storage folder, but I don't need to bring here /storage. I don't need to do that, because with the help of storage method we need to just simply define the name of the method inside the storage, so which should be post. And next I just simply need to define here the name of the complete image, the file, the name random file string, that name of the string that we will have. And now next step that I need to save it inside my directory, but I first want to show you the path. So let's create a path, and if I go to the postman, send the request, and that's where you see. So inside my public /post we have a name of the file that we are going to upload here. Let's go to our Laravel application. So you see inside my post we have now saved our file inside our directory, which is post, right? So that looks fine. Now I need to save that inside my database. For that, just simply add here post, which should be the name of the variable or the model that we have. That's where we have defined. So $post and the name of the attribute, which is image, and it should have the name which is generated from the complete pic, right? So once everything has been done, I need to just simply define post dash save method, and next I need to just return the status by the help of return. Let's return the status true and give the message that the post saved successfully. And on the other case, if something went wrong, I just forgot to bring here a semicolon, or I just want to grab from the top, paste it here. Let's give it the false and change that message to be something went wrong. All right, saves it. Let's go back to the Postman. Now if I just try to send the request, and here we go. So you see now the post is saved successfully. Let's go back to the directory. So you see now we also have created the inside our storage folder. And now if I go back to the phpMyAdmin, go to the browse, and there we go. Now, so you see now we can easily save the image. Let's add another image. If I just go to add another image, just cross that, and let's upload another image, save it. There we go. Post is saved successfully. And if I go back to the directory, you see it's also inside our directory, saved inside a directory, plus we have saved into our database, right? So that's it, guys. I hope you guys loved this complete fabulous. I believe this is very interesting because I have explained everything from the scratch, where you are able to understand each and every step of this. So if you guys really love it, so don't forget to like and subscribe these videos. And I have a ton of other videos using, where we have CRUD series, we have authentication series. I want to give the link in the description as well, so you guys can watch it. So that's it, guys. So I want to see you in the next part, where we are going to work with the front end, and we create the validation. We are able to save those images inside our database. So let's see into the next part.